Yeah, I'm not having any issues. It just wouldn't pull up. Like my laptop wasn't like connected to the internet. It didn't pull up GT2. Cool. We're everywhere. Let's see. Let's make sure that's turned down. Trying to wait. Sometimes my Facebook loads a little bit late, but we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. Hump Day. Guys, I'm still waiting for this thing to pull up. Man, first things first. Every morning, like to start off 60 seconds of gratitude. But hey, before that, if you could do me a favor, like, comment, share the stream. If you won't do it for me, do it for Josh Harrell sitting in front of the camera right now.
Yes.
Good deal. All right, so, man, mine still has not pulled up. Noah, what you thankful for this morning?
Thankful for my mom.
Love that.
Yep.
Love that. Me as well. What about you, Josh?
I'm thankful I didn't get knocked out last night in boxing class.
Yeah, I was listening to your story this morning. What happened with that?
I was fighting this dude was really good. Hit me in the stomach. I almost threw up. Because I had spaghetti before. Thought it'd be a good idea to eat spaghetti before going to a workout.
Was that the 2-minute rounds that you've been doing?
We just did 2 last night.
2. Gotcha. Yeah, glad you didn't throw up, dude. Hey, you pushed through it too. You didn't quit.
Yeah, coach was like, yeah, you got an option to make, or you got a decision to make. You can go to the bathroom and quit, or you can keep going. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, keep going. Got you. Good deal. Awesome. What about you, man?
Just thankful to have woken up this morning.
Yeah, I feel that every day is a blessing. There's a lot of people, man, that they don't take it for granted. Yeah, they don't get that other day, the next day. What about you, Jake?
Thankful that I get to host Football Friday this Friday.
Football Friday. This Friday. I'm looking forward to it. Man, I would say, and this is kind of going to go into the show topic, what I'm thankful for is really, so the show topic is how important is direction. And, man, I'm thankful for, before I got here, this was something that I was not clear on at all. And really now being here and being exposed to how important it is, right, to have direction and get clarity, it really shows me in the past kind of what the result of not having direction is. And really it's, dude, you just put things on hold because you don't know where you're focused, you don't know where you're going. And ultimately, that just caused really a lack of urgency in trying to do something. You just put things off. You don't know where you're going. So that's something I'm thankful for this morning. So, yeah, like I said, show topic is how important is direction. I kind of went into, how I felt, my past determined, after learning this, being exposed while I'm here. But why do you guys feel? Do you feel like direction is important?
Yes.
Why?
Because without it, you're just gonna be doing stuff that you don't need to be doing. If you have direction, you're probably gonna wake up every morning with a goal in your mind and try to go towards that goal.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Austin? You feel like direction is important?
Yes.
Why?
Without direction, you're just going to be static. You're just going to probably stay in the same place and not really try to move towards a bigger goal or a bigger accomplishment, bigger whatever in your mind it is.
Yeah.
You're just going to stay in the same spot.
For sure. I feel like, and one thing I wrote down, when thinking about this was another reason, obviously, is to get clarity. It's to understand, give you direction on what you want to achieve, what goal you might have, how to get there, just clarity. And I also feel like, when you get good direction, there's less distractions. And what I mean by that is there's still distractions coming in from everywhere. So it is important to be able to push those to the side. But I feel like when you have direction, it's easier to push those to the side because you know how you're going to get to this goal, or you have somewhat of an idea on how you're going to achieve that.
What do you mean by direction?
Direction, I mean, so let's just say, for example, working out in the gym, right? You go into the gym and you say, we're hitting back and buys today. You know exactly what you're going to do what you're trying to achieve. Your goal is to achieve, and we're going in there hitting biceps and back today. You go into a gym and you don't have direction, you don't have an idea of what you're even in there for, you're going to be in there for 30 minutes, an hour, and have gained no progress at all.
What's an example of like some direction you have?
Right now, so I would say the biggest thing for me was mapping out my day. And that's something that I did not used to do whatsoever. I didn't even realize it was important. But mapping out my day, and, sometimes I still slack on it. I'm not going to sit up here and act like, I'm perfect at it. But I'm trying to get better at doing it the night before. So that way when I get in the morning, it's, look over it, review it for very, very short period of time, and then I already know how to go about that. And so that's something that has helped me is, in terms of direction, just getting a game plan for the day.
I feel like a lot of people think they have direction, but they might be going in the wrong direction. What would you say to that?
I would say if you feel like you're going in the wrong direction, there's got to be something that has obviously cued you to feel that way. So
maybe they think it's the right direction, but it's the wrong direction. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They think it's the right direction, but it's the wrong direction.
I would say then at that point, if you feel that way, to go back and reevaluate what you're trying to achieve, what those goals are. And then by going that way, you're able to look at this game plan or whatever goal you might have, and you can adjust from that.
What's the best way to develop a good direction?
You're
saying go back to, like, what would you tell somebody to do?
I would say get clarity on what you want. Get clarity on goals, what you want to achieve. 100%. That's it. It's prime example of, you like to use this analogy a lot, right? You going on a vacation. You got to be able to recognize first that you want to be able to go on a vacation. Hey, I want to go on a vacation. Cool. What do you got to figure out next? You got to figure out where you want to go, which ultimately is the end goal, right? And so I feel like a lot of times, something that's helped me is like kind of figuring out an end goal. So like mapping out the day, right? Like by the end of the day, I want to have these things achieved. I want to have these things done. So like with this vacation analogy, you go on vacation, you figure out, hey, look, I want to go here. Okay, cool. How are you going to get there? Are you going to fly or are you going to drive? Once you fly or drive, all right, how are we going to get there? Throw it in the GPS, gives you directions. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say. But with this direction, it can include so many things. Like I said, long-term goals, short-term goals. It can be what you're trying to achieve when you wake up and go to the gym. What you're trying to hit. And even just a game plan of the day. Is there any other thing that you guys could think of that direction could include? Mistakes.
Like I would much rather learn from somebody else's mistakes than learn from my own.
Yeah.
And that comes with direction.
Yeah.
Somebody that's done the things that I've done, they've done the things that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna know things not to do while trying to achieve that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be much easier for me, instead of me trial and error and like wasting a lot of time. It's just gonna be, hey, what did you do at this point in time?
Yeah.
And they tell me. So
Yeah.
it's the best direction comes from those that have achieved what you want to achieve.
Right. No, and that ties into what Tommy always says, do you believe there's a shortcut to success? And a lot of people say no, but there is, because there's clues, and it's people that have already done it.
Right.
So I agree with that. What, anybody else? Is there any other way that you can implement direction, or what that can include? Yeah, 100%. Because I think your purpose comes back to maybe a why, or Coach Burt yesterday talked about because goals. Because goals. And it's like one of his things was he used to be poor, so because he was poor, he doesn't want to have to ever feel that way again. He wants to be rich, right? So it's like a because goal. People used to make fun of me for yada, yada, yada. I want to change that. That's a because goal. And so I think purpose, aligns with your why. And so, yeah, I think that does help give direction. Because if you're focused in on what you're trying to improve, what you're trying to get better at, why you're even wanting to do it, that 100%, leads to good direction, I feel like.
This is my opinion on direction. I believe that if you plan on going in a certain direction, you know, you might start off going in the right direction. But if you plan on doing it yourself, eventually you're going to get off the right track, right? So I think, like Daniel Hodges said in the comments, it is important that you have accountability, so you can have somebody looking from outside in to make sure that, hey, this is the track that I want to be on. Hold me accountable to staying on this track. Because if you plan on doing it by yourself, at some point you're going to get off that track and you're going to go in the wrong direction. I think, and if if you're somebody who, I know a lot of people can't take, accountability. They can't take somebody saying, hey, you're getting off track, right? Or, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. A lot of people can't do that. They can't take that. So, I mean, if you're not able to take that and you just want to do it by yourself and just go in a certain direction, at some point in time, you're going to get going in the wrong direction. So, I think like Daniel Hodges says, I think accountability is very, very important to be able to go in the right direction for long periods of time. For
sure. I definitely think, and it kind of ties into what Josh said, people that have made mistakes before in the past and learning from that. That not necessarily is that accountability, but it's like a second person that's coming in and saying, look, this is where I screwed up. This is how you can avoid that. So it's not necessarily the same thing, but it definitely ties in. And I think, like Noah said, accountability is something huge. If you go at it yourself, there's a good chance, you might get distracted. You might lose track of what, your ultimate goal is. So having that accountability, having that person to, tell you, hey, look, you're kind of slipping off a little bit from what you told me you wanted, maybe come in and reevaluate. So that's just some food for thought this morning. Obviously this is something that, like I said, this is something I'm thankful for, because before I'd even gotten exposed, before I came here, this is something that I hadn't even thought about ever having. And so it's something that I'm continuing to work on every day, but I have the moral of the story. I have the gist of it, and it's definitely been beneficial for me. So yeah, this is something to think about. How are you, giving yourself good direction? So that's it. Van, y'all have a good Wednesday. Van, take us out.